6 Mountain West players get invites to the NFL Combine.
College football is always in the news, so we're back on the Big Mountain to keep you updated on the Big Ten and the Mountain West.
Hey, it's great to have you here on the mountain. I am JY, and this is my good friend Steve. And Steve, I want to do a Mountain West episode.
Yeah.
Some news coming out. Not new news. We're a little late getting to this, but I think it's really important. As I've been saying, I'm a Mountain West cheerleader, and I think this is really positive stuff. We have 6 Mountain West football players that got invites to the NFL Combine. 2 from Colorado State, 2 from Boise State, and 2 from Wyoming. Want to just name them out here, give them the praise that they're deserving of. Let's start with Boise State. You know, one of the big names there this past year, he was injured for a lot of the year to start the season, and that's how Genty became such a force there. But George Halani, really strong running back there in Boise. He gets an invite. He finished his career with 34 touchdowns, 4,479 all-purpose yards. And this is the 20th straight year that Boise State has had a player invited to the Combine. So props to Boise State. I know Boise gets a little bit of hate from some Mountain West other schools there because I think they just deem themselves to be a little bit better than everybody else. But hey,
They're jealous.
Yeah, well, maybe it's a little jealousy, but hey, 20 straight, that's awesome for the Broncos and awesome for Halani. The other one with an invite was the kicker, Jonah Dalmas, but he's not going because he's coming back to Boise again.
Okay.
So, 5 actually going to be attending it, 6 with invites, 5 actually going because Dalmas is coming back to Boise. He'll get another invite again next year. He's an outstanding kicker there for the Broncos. Let's go to Colorado State University. They have Dalen Holker, a tight end, second-team All-American. He had 64 receptions for 767 yards, the most by any tight end. Really good-looking player here. I'm anxious to see how he can do in the Combine and seeing what he can do in terms of getting drafted. But really good-looking tight end there with the Rams. And then a D lineman, Muhammad Kamara, again, second-team All-American. He led the Mountain West in sacks with 13. He led the Mountain West in tackles for a loss with 17. So another stud there coming out of the Rams. So props to both of those guys. Wish them all the best. And then I'm going to save the best for last for me. Those are the 2 pokes that get invited. We've got Frank Crum, just a fantastic O-lineman. You know how the NFL loves their linemen here. I mean, it's a lineman league. If you can control the line on either side of the ball, you're doing pretty good. So I'm hoping for the best here for Crum. He's a great athlete. He mostly played right tackle. He did move to left this season, so, obviously it's always good if you can show you're a little versatile in positions that you can play. He was a multiple All-American Mountain West honors, so awesome for him. And then Easton Gibbs, fantastic linebacker. They have several, but he gets an invite. He's number 8 in school history for total tackles, number 13 among all active SBS players for total tackles at the end of his career that are active right now with 362. That's saying something. Another stud back there. And these 2 guys, when you think Wyoming football, you show a picture of these 2 guys like, yeah, that guy plays for Wyoming. Yeah, that guy, just quintessential pokes. Really happy for those 2. Happy that they get 2. So yeah, that's what I got. What are you thinking?
Wyoming this year, and I said this on other episodes, I was so impressed this year by their offensive line.
Yeah.
And by their defense, especially their front 7. They both of those, their O-line and their front 7, they weren't just good for a Mountain West team.
Yeah.
They were darn good for just college football this year. And very comparable to a lot of Big Ten teams as far as their O-line and their front 7. And these 2 guys, these were the war daddies that were out there kicking ass and taking names. So I'm not surprised. Glad to see Wyo get some recognition and see these guys go in the Combine.
And Crum really one of the leaders there for that team. And, they bring a lot of guys back next year. These are 2 big pieces that they lose. Yeah. They are returning a lot of players, so still have high expectations for that team. But these 2 guys were leaders and great. And Halani, we already know who his replacement is with Genty. I'm anxious to see how Genty does here, being the star guy this year. He was the star guy. Yeah. They shared time when Halani came back in because they were both great athletes. Yep. But Boise's doing good with where they're at in running back.
Wanted to say real quick about Halani. I said multiple times I really thought Boise had one of the best 1-2 combinations, especially down the stretch when they were winning those games, getting to the Mountain West Championship game. They just that combination was great. It would have been interesting if Helani was healthy all year, and they could be a 1-2 combo all season because they had some disappointing losses early in the year.
Yes, they did.
So that would have been, but I'm happy for him. He's a good solid back, and I'm not saying he's good Mountain West running back, just a good solid college running back that I think has a good future in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm going to keep my eye on these guys as we get to the NFL draft, see what happens with some of these guys. Certainly, if any of them get drafted, and I think we'll have some here, obviously I'd do another update, let you know where they're at, and again, wishing them the best. Hey, we thank you guys for tuning in. Had to do a little episode here on the Mountain West, especially when we got some of these awesome players going to the Combine. With that, make sure you give us a like. Make sure you give us a subscribe. And with that, we'll see you next time on the Big Mountain.